April began with heavy rain-filled clouds and thunderstorms, a sign of new, warmer season fast approaching. Seasons change one after another at the blink of an eye. Nourished by the rain, trees reveal their pink blossoms and young green foliage, growing by a minute, greedily soaking up the occasional rays of April's sun. I too entered a new period of growth, when body and soul both craved nourishment more than ever. There is something about this season that makes my heart flutter and my mind go on a journey of self-exploration. Today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on finding home, the sense of belonging that it seems many of us often miss. I asked you earlier whether you'd be interested in exploring this subject with me, and it looks like there are a few of us who might feel in a similar way. I realize that some of my thoughts might come off a little more melancholic today, but perhaps you might be somewhat used to that if you've been watching my videos for a while. I call it light melancholia. I never mean what I say in a negative way. If anything, there is light and hope in those feelings, and I wish to translate that lightness to you in some way. Last weekend I journeyed to the sea, an area where I lived for a couple of years when I first came to England as a teenager. Memories of past came flooding in like ocean waves, revealing deepest questions left unanswered. What would my life look like if I never moved? Where would I be if not here? And while I did, long time ago, come to a conclusion that I would not change anything in the past to make it different, I still find that there is a part of me which still attempts to exist in a different reality within my head. A part of me that's endlessly curious about things that could have been. But then, perhaps these questions need no answer at all. I read these beautiful words by a Portuguese poet, Fernando Pessoa, the other day. The feelings that hurt most, the emotions that sting most are those that are absurd. The longing for impossible things, precisely because they are impossible. Nostalgia for what never was. The desire for what could have been. Regret over not being someone else. And these half-tones of the soul's consciousness create in us a painful landscape, an eternal sunset of what we are. There is this beautiful word that describes this feeling, anemoia, a nostalgic sense of longing for a past you have never lived. The simple truth is, my choices led me to where I am right now, and thus this is precisely where I belong. Perhaps it is impossible to talk about home and sense of belonging without peeling away some of its layers. There is the outside that is visible to everyone around. In simple terms, I am an immigrant who was born someplace else and built a life in a new country. My accent is revealed as soon as I speak, and thus you instantly form an idea of who I am. People still ask me questions about my birth country, which I cannot answer as I never lived there as an adult and I only hold knowledge of a child. If I ever moved back to where I was born, I'd have to adapt just the same way I'd have to adapt to any other country I'm not familiar with. This is the first, outer layer. Is our home defined by where we were born, by the passport we hold, by the accent we speak with? Do all of the above dictate where we belong? Then there is a second layer, our ancestry, which is also a factual thing. We're all born into a culture and traditions it comes with. Our blood is the blood of our ancestors, and that is something that, unlike accents or passports, that cannot be changed. Some people are born with a strong knowledge of their ancestry and culture. Large families stand behind them, knowledge and sense of belonging being planted from the first breath. Others are born without that knowledge, due to various reasons. Some of it might have been lost, some countries ceased to exist, family trees abruptly cut off just a generation above you with no knowledge of ancestry. Some end up building their own traditions, their own culture, fostering their sense of belonging from the limited knowledge they have. They choose to build anew, starting with themselves. And there is the inner layer, which is feelings. This is precisely what this video is about. How do you feel in the world you surround yourself with? We are so desperate to belong that we try to mold ourselves into places, societies, and lives that don't suit us. Perhaps belonging isn't about others accepting you or about fitting into the societal standards, but it's about you accepting your most real and authentic self. My home is something I carry inside, never defined by the facade, but rather by what is carefully kept within it. I tried living in many places, ran away at every possible moment in search for belonging. I held on to people, places, and memories which never meant to be. I placed too much responsibility on others to accept me, on the country to accept me as its own, on people to love me in the ways that I need, on friends to hold me in their memories. In doing so, I lost sight of myself. The more I looked outward, the more I got lost. As many times as has been said before, one thing that remains true is that home is within. Home is you. Perhaps we don't really need to belong anywhere, as long as we accept ourselves for who we are without waiting for the outside world to take us in. What's important, though, is to never stop growing and taking care of our home.